What is going on, everybody? If I put a tennis ball in my pool and let it float around, will it help attract bugs and keep bugs off the surface of my pool? Let's test it out. Welcome back to Suburban Adventures, our outdoor adventure channel. I also do a pool maintenance series as well. And I saw this hack on social media recently where they said if you put a tennis ball or a couple tennis balls in your pool, bugs that are on the surface of your pool will climb onto it instead of floating around in the water. You can see, well, we're currently heading into Japanese beetle season, so I am getting some Japanese beetles in the water. Look at, there's about, I don't know if you can see, 1, 2, 3, there's about 5 or 6 of them in there. And now obviously when the pool's running, that's the purpose of the skimmer basket, but it doesn't, unless they're really close to the sides, it doesn't always work. So I could only scrounge up one tennis ball. I'm gonna just try it for now and see. So let's just toss that in there. Now my only concern with this hack that I saw is if it's gonna, when the pool is on, if the tennis ball itself is going to get sucked into the skimmer basket there. So I'll check back with you and see. I'll leave it in there and see if it works. If it's worth tossing a couple of tennis balls in your pool, or if it's another one of those things that's just made up that doesn't work. So we'll check back and see. Well, it's been about 2 hours. I'm gonna say I was pretty skeptical of this hack. I was very skeptical, but I came out to jump in the pool after mowing the lawn this morning. It's about 95 degrees here today, and check this out. Here's the tennis ball. Let's bring it into the shade. There's 1, 2, 3. Looks like those are like little Japanese beetles. Yeah, 2. There's 2 of those like little ant things on there. So there's, I mean, I'm surprised at that. So here's what I'm gonna do. I only had 1 tennis ball. I gotta run out to Walmart and get some stuff. I'm gonna get a can of tennis balls and throw maybe 2 or 3 more in there, and just to see. Now the test will be is when I turn my pool filter on and that water gets circulating around, and if those tennis balls get sucked into the skimmer, that's obviously not ideal. But just floating around in there, I don't have a solar cover, I don't use that anymore, and I don't have the pump on. I mean, it's collecting bugs that would just normally be floating around. So I'll throw a couple more in there and see. I added a couple more. I actually have 3 out there. This is the only problem I thought would probably happen when my pool is running. They do get sucked in here, but I will say, I was in the pool earlier today because it's 97 degrees. I think it's record breaking today, actually, how hot it is here. And they had bugs on them. Every time I checked, there was at least 1 bug, a Japanese beetle, or those, I get these little tiny bees, I think they are, on them. So it really does work. I was really surprised. So let me get out of the sun. It is hot. Not used to this heat in the Northeast here. So is this a hack that works? I would say yes, it does work. Is it a hack that you need? I mean, probably not. When I run my pool, it does a pretty decent job of collecting bugs. Or I can just use my little net and scoop the bugs out. If you run your pool all the time, like 24/7, I would say you probably don't want to do it because you're going to get those tennis balls constantly sucked into the skimmer there. But, you know, if you leave your pool uncovered without a solar cover overnight, without the pump running or anything, throw some tennis balls in there. Now, the other thing is, too, is, I mean, if you have a bigger pool, my pool's really not that big, you probably are going to need more tennis balls. And again, so is it a hack where there's really a need to do this? I don't think so. I don't really mind just scooping bugs out. But it does work. I will say, I was surprised at how many bugs were attracted to those tennis balls in the water. Now, what would be the purpose of this? Well, you know, obviously the bugs are attracted to the water, they fall in the water, you know, they find their way to the tennis ball, they climb up onto the tennis ball instead of floating around in your pool. Then you just take them off the tennis ball so you don't have a bunch of bugs floating around on the top of your water. So, but again, I don't really think it's that big of a deal to just scoop them out with the skimmer. But if you don't like that, sure, throw half a dozen tennis balls in your pool. It really does work. So anyway, I do have a pool maintenance playlist. You can check that out right there. You can subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.